Something that's been like crazy though, it's kind of like dating. Like dating, like the word dating is it's put a like foul taste in my mouth as of recently. Recently being in the past few years, I'm not gonna lie. But it's just ugh. And you think of dating, you think fairy tale. Oh, I'm going out to dinner, I'm going out to this event with the significant other, the person that's not my gender. Wow, this is an experience. Like, I mean, that's awesome, the little fairy tale dating experience. But yeah, as of recently, like, there's been the dating marketplace. And I'm like, dating marketplace? Huh? What? Wait, is this a marketplace? Or did we bring capitalism to dating? We didn't bring it there. Dating, marriage, all of that stuff is commingled into the clutches of capitalism, feudalism, any ism you want to comprehend, imbalanced power dynamic you want to comprehend. And that's just what I'm going to be getting into, bro. But for real though, like, being in a situationship or even thinking you're in a relationship comes to the honesty and the transparency between both parties, because you can be so enthusiastic about something and then the other person is just like, oh shit, that's what you was feeling. I could not empathize with you, so I thought this was X and Y. You thought it was X, Y, and Z. And then you don't want to look embarrassed. You like, oh shit, yeah, nah, it's X and Y, but you really want Z. So like, and then from the other perspective, from somebody who's like, yeah, nah, I mean, like, my X, Y, and Z would be X, Y, and a consensual Z that, yeah, we chilling, we cool, we vibing. But like, what really is a vibe? A vibe is a vibration. That's the shorthand of the word, and a vibe really is, I'm feeling you. I'm not just seeing you, I'm not just hearing you, I'm feeling you in all of my senses. You around, we messing around too, we talking about deep stuff, hopefully. I mean, if you're not talking about deep stuff, then homie, I can't tell you the way you just don't like to have good conversation, but that's besides the point. A good vibration is like, wow, we are constructive interference. If you don't know what constructive interference is, go to any physics 101 class, maybe 202, because they don't get into it, but like, whatever. Go into any physics class that teaches you about waves and harmonics, and you'll know that a constructive interference is when two waves are playing, and they might not have to be the same frequency. They could also be different amplitudes, but what they do is they push on each other. They have similar ways that they amplify the waves that are the peaks. Like, there's a peak and a trough to every wave. The peak is how constructive interference really works. The trough, though, is how destructive interference really works. And I think that a vibe is that constructive stuff. It's like, this is my peak, this is your peak. We're adding to each other's peaks, as opposed to destructive interference, which would be, this is my peak, but your peak is my trough. Like, that's the bottom. And it's like any wave that's the same as another wave but out of phase, which just means that the peaks of one wave is the troughs of the other wave, is just zero, is nothing. And so I say that to say the peaks and the troughs of your vibration it matters. Like, when you feel happiest, when you feel most positive, does this other person feel most positive too with you? Or does it feel like, oh, every time I say something positive about my life, anytime I say something that's constructive about my life, about me, about that, about this, that I care about, is this person just bringing in a negative? It's a complex subject, but this is what I'm trying to get into. This is the basis of like dating and stuff, and like why like dating has turned into a term for me that I'm like, oh boy, as opposed to, oh wow, I can't wait to date, or I love dating and this and that and meeting new people and blah 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 and blah blah blah, all the stuff that people really be putting on dating. But yeah, let me get into why in this current time though, it's different, and that might be okay. Now, traditional dating and lifestyles have been doing a number on like people's just sanity for a long time now. Like, if you want to be like a little trad wife or a trad family or a trad this or a trad that, you look crazy, because you might be like the tradition, as well as it might have been carried forth from when you heard it, it needs some tweaking. Every tradition is evolving constantly, and if you ain't trying to tweak that shit, I don't know what you're doing. But this whole like rise of like, I want to stick to traditional values, what does that really mean to you? Does it really mean anything to you other than some childhood stuff that you haven't thought through yet? We don't know. We really don't know what this traditional thing is. So when it comes to dating and stuff, like I'm looking to get married. I'm looking to have kids. I'm looking to, what does that come from? Now, there's an evolutionary thing that's like, look, evolution don't happen without no kids, dog. So, have them shits. And then there's another side to it where it's like my human experience, my societal experience, my existential experience has told me that kids is a big responsibility that societally at this point we have not been able to foster. So can I do that? That's like kind of a thing too. And then it's like, wait, I feel this evolutionary need to get a wife, have a kid, maybe 4, 5, 6, whatever, how many ever kids that you've been conditioned to want, and then the process is less than savory. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, these evolutionary principles hold truth, and they influence me heavily from my childhood to my adulthood. But there's also a time in your life where you could say, oh, wait, kids right now, a family right now is just not realistically possible. And the society creates some barrier to what you want to naturally do. And so now we're here, and now we're like, oh, wow, I look at the opposite sex in the way that those who have taught me teach me to look at them. But, I also feel these societal things, these contemporary things that allow me to feel something else. So it's like, oh, wait, what do I do? It's not simple. It's pretty hard to understand what you do in this situation, and that's what we found ourselves in. We found ourselves in a time where the society does not match the ideals, and we're struggling, bro. We're struggling. Wow. But traditional ways in this contemporary time are almost entirely dead in the acceptable state of mind, influenced by the internet, our interconnectivity, our cultural diffusion. Like, cultural diffusion has not been at a lower point ever because we have access to each other's stories. And if you're interested in somebody else's story, no matter where they come from, if you make the right title or thumbnail or whatever on social media, you will reach an audience. And so we've gotten to a point where it's kind of like, wait, do these traditional values really hold up? I'm seeing another person's experience, and they're living an experience that I really respect, I really love, but they're not following the same things that I was taught. That introduces a new paradigm to it. It introduces a whole new paradigm, because what a paradigm shift is like an entire, almost revolution. Like, it out with the old, in with the new, times 10, bro. It's like, oh, okay, wow. This new ideology, this new philosophy, this new way of life is giving me better outcomes than the one I was following, so I'm gonna follow this new one. And we see it all over the place. And in the quote-unquote dating marketplace, that's the most primal of value points for humans. Whether whether or not you will procreate with some other human, because you can't procreate with anything else. If you're doing all of that, there's a different category for you, but whatever. It's like, will I produce more? Will I co-create? Will I be in symbiosis with this other person? Because a person is another human. So that, like, now that that's established, in this current contemporary time, we've created so much for ourselves that we are very hyper individualistic, because our creations are creating for us. We're experiencing the dividends of human knowledge. However, in this dating market, or all these things, and dating as a concept, or marriage as a concept, which dating stems from, it's like, oh yeah, we're leading up to marriage. These things are being challenged, and they're being, exposed. The divorce rates are at an all-time high, and you already know how I feel about divorced ass niggas, bro. That's besides the point. We're living in a time where it's like, wow, dating feels so pointless because I have other things in life that I am literally like so engaged with. And whether that be addiction or true passion is up to question. But the reality is, dating as a construct in terms of leading up to marriage has been just completely dismantled. So we gotta figure out a new way, and it's rough. Like, the whole dating market, equating dating to capitalism and all these other things that we have affinity towards, allegiance to. Gotta really figure out a middle ground and a realistic strategy for making it evolutionarily beneficial, just in general, just being in symbiosis with this planet, But maybe I'm tripping. But at the same time, somebody gotta figure that shit out. Now, when we think of dating as a concept, we can't separate it from marriage. Marriage being the legally binding contract between a man and a woman, more recently expanded to any combination you want, ties your finances, your existences, your almost everything together, the kids you have together. And I'm trying to think, legally binding contract, it has offered a lot of benefits, but that's out of encouragement to promote the concept of marriage. And in a patriarchal society, of course, patriarchy means that the man physically, materially brings in more than a woman. So, yeah, marriage is assumed. You make women into these possessions that you can buy or you can, transact by her family. And that breeds itself into dating, and now that we're in the contemporary era, a lot of those gender roles have been sort of subverted or completely dismissed in certain scenarios, and we're stuck in a limbo. Like, is traditional marriage really the route that you want to go? Is it? For me, I know after understanding marriage, the concept of it, how it operates, how it necessitates my control over another, when I know for a fact that one thing you can have for certain and you can know for certain is that you do not control the actions of another being. It's kind of lackluster for me. I'm just like, bro, what am I really doing here? Why am I really striving for this concept, this ideal that I know I just don't subscribe to, I don't agree with? But so much of our society, so much of our previous monoculture that's bred into this explosion of a polyculture, man, it's kind of just like, yeah, I'm rethinking it. I'm just going over it another time. The heartbreak, the expectations, what you've seen in your childhood versus what you experience, and then the amalgamation of those two into some melancholic version of what you want, what has brought positivity into your life, really breeds what your dating preference is. If you choose to date, or if you choose to vibe. The whole situationship thing is kind of just like, it's just a general term for a group of people who have negatively commingled, and now it's going viral because, that's what goes viral, that negativity stuff. And that's been a thing. The news, how many news segments you go through where every story been just hunky-dory, absolutely awesome. And then people apply that philosophy, though, to marriage. Like, oh my God, every marriage comes with its hurdles. You need to work through things, and you do. However, what really is a marriage as different from a deep and true friendship that you share with somebody that goes through its hurdles? What's the difference? A relationship with somebody that is apart from yourself, that you have had to work through, that you have had to really understand deeply, really been a part of their life, really been a part of their existence, their spirit. Is that really so unique to marriage? For me, it's not. I treat every single person that comes into my life, that spirit brings, that the universe brings, if you don't really want to do spirit, or if Christ, Jesus, Allah, fucking Yahweh, whatever you do, if they bring it into your life, the external, what is external from us, if they bring it into your life, then wow, for me, I see it as a potential opportunity. And you go through the trials, tribulations, and gloriousness of those things. That's why I can't have any regrets in my life, because every single one of my experiences, whether it be a relationship, a friendship, has taught me a lot about myself. But this concept of marriage, possession, control over the actions of another really steered me away from the whole dating marriage world, because it's nonsense. So many different permutations of humanity exist, so many different people, so much that you can't control, that why can't you be along for the ride? Why can't you just exists? That's been my question, and that's also been my conclusion, that for me, this whole dating, marriage, nonsense, possessing somebody else, possessing another, enacting your possession on another has just kind of been repulsive to me. I don't need to control you. I don't have a desire to do that. I have a desire to coexist in a symbiosis with you. And if you don't coexist in a symbiosis with me, then we can't vibe. Like, that's the vibe. That's the crux of that situationship. There's so many things you can vibe about. There's so many things that you can, they just struck a chord. But at the end of the day, do those chords that are harmonious overpower the chords that are non-harmonious? That are, I'm forgetting the word, but disharmonious. Dissonant, that's the word. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, it's really insane. But yeah, in conclusion, because I don't even think I can have many more thoughts on the matter, you can be the person that you desire to be every day. You can exist as that person, and you can experience as that person. And if the whole concept of dating and marriage is really strong for you, all the power to you. You will find people in this world that will share that. However, if you find yourself where I'm at, where it's sort of a concept that I've been pondering as opposed to existing behind, or like allowing myself to be a follower to, then you can do that too. You can understand your existence as such. You can understand your existence as, to those who desire certain things, I will not be their desire. But to those who do, I will. And I will encounter those people if I exist as the person that I am, and it can be harmonious. That's really it. There's so many different narratives about this lifestyle and that lifestyle from people who have never truly understood or empathized or even sympathized with people that actually actively exist in that lifestyle in a healthy way. That could go for anything. And maybe I'll get into that later, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on dating, marriage. Oh my God, I gotta get some box. Oh my God, my phone's dry or whatever. I don't even care. I don't even want to talk about this no more. Please visit that subscribe button, and also take a layover on that like button. Your boy would appreciate it. I hope that you find what you find in this universe that is positive, that is a good vibration for you. And I can only wish you a fantastic rest of your day or night, whenever you seeing this. Adios. Au revoir. See ya.